Well, the 2010 Gathering of Nations Pow Wow, a spirits dance, is nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Native American Music Album. This, of course, is the cover. So cool. It features a variety of artists who performed during the 27th annual Pow Wow last year in Albuquerque. And joining us this morning are Derek Mathews, who produced the album, and Melonie Mathews of Gathering of Nations Records. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. And an honor, a really big year for you both.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's more than we expected.
Well, isn't that always the best thing?
Yeah, it certainly
Absolutely.
caught us by surprise.
Did it really?
Yeah, I mean, you think of the Grammys, you don't necessarily think of yourself being part of it.
Right, well, let's talk about that. I mean, this is a massive year. You are nominated for a Grammy Award, and this is obviously the first time. Let's talk a little bit first about the project, because it is a massive project, and we want to understand what's involved in producing something like this.
The project itself is really large, like you said, because we take this live from the powwow, and we have nearly 50 drum groups, and that's pretty much what it's all about, is the drum groups, and we record them every year pretty much just to save the sound of the event itself. And we've been members of the Grammys, the Academy, for the past 10 years. And every year we keep submitting. And actually the Gathering of Nations won the very first Grammy on another record label when it first came out. But every year we've been submitting the record, submitting it, and never really thought this was ever going to happen. So it took us totally by surprise. But in selecting the particular tracks to go on it, we have over 200 songs each year to select from and break it down to about 22 or 23.
How do you make that kind of a decision?
Well, we have a person that sits throughout the entire event, and her job is to listen to every song.
Wow.
And she's an accomplished powwow dancer herself and sings background with some of the drum groups. So she sits and rates them on a scale of basically 1 to 5. And so when we get to the studio and we got 200 songs, we're looking at basically the 3s, 4s, and 5s, and we go through them. But I think before we even start, because even though we're working the event, somewhere in the back of our mind we're still kind of cataloging things ourselves. So we sort of have an idea as to how we want it to go, because when this CD came together, the adversity of being outside this past year, the gathering was outside.
Yes, you were telling me, really battling the elements.
Yes, so we basically felt that there was a story to be told in this particular CD. So it starts out with a prayer, and most Native gatherings you start with a prayer and you give thanks for everything that has happened, or what's going to happen, and for what could come of your project.
That's so beautiful. I love that.
And the music just takes you on a journey. I mean, it's intense, it's fast, it's the best Native drum groups. I mean, drum groups from the United States and Canada. And then, of course, the event wouldn't happen without everybody. So we thank people at the end with a particular song, as well as a thank you from the outgoing Miss Indian world. So it's really beautiful. I mean, the whole CD is just amazing.
And, you know, I think when you say that, it makes people listen to it differently now, because when people will listen to it, they'll understand the story behind it. I want to give people an opportunity to see the video. Let's take a look at what we have so you can see what we're talking about. Now, the Gathering of Nations, of course, is the world's largest gatherer of Native American and Indigenous people. The event took place in Albuquerque at University Stadium last spring and is considered one of the top 100 events and festivals in North America. That's so impressive. The album features, how many, 21 songs?
Yes.
21 songs, and they're performed, of course, by Native American musicians and the drum groups, as you mentioned, from North America, including Leonard Crow Dog, Midnight Express, The Tribe, Buck Wild, lots of different artists out here. Headstone, Rocky Boy, Wild Band of Comanches and Comanches. Is that how you say their name? See, I haven't listened to them yet, so
you have to come to the powwow this year.
This is amazing. Well, you know, and the thing is, there's also a special message included, isn't there?
Well, that comes within the opening. It's a Sundance chief, Leonard Crow Dog.
So that's who does that, what you were saying.
Yes.
Okay, so there's kind of a beginning, a middle, and an end. It really is like a storybook album.
Absolutely.
Which is so cool.
One of the things that's really interesting, and a lot of listeners may or may not be familiar with the music, and a lot of people say it all sounds the same, but if you listen carefully, it really has a different sound from song to song. And out through Indian country and at the powwows, this is the rock and roll. From the big drums to the hand drums, this is the blues, this is the Gospels, these are the hymns, and it comes together so uniquely to put together one unit. And for the listener, if you take a chance to listen to it, we guarantee that you're going to get up and dance, you're going to pat your foot, and before long you might even have tears coming at the same time.
Absolutely.
Isn't that really the bottom line with music, to be able to evoke emotion and some kind of feeling and generate that desire to move?
And that's really what the Gathering of Nations is about. I mean, the powwow itself, it's a huge event, but when you get down into it, it really brings a lot of people together, and it pulls out a lot of emotion out of people and a joyfulness. So
I love hearing that.
It's great. I mean, you are more than welcome to come.
Well, I would love to. I would love to. Can I go to the Grammys too?
Wow.
Now, how many people are actually going to be going to the show?
There's about 6 of us going, and there's us from Gathering of Nations, as well as our graphic artist, who has been a big part of things with us.
That album cover, did you do that?
Yes,
oh, it's incredible.
As well as we mastered the album at Capitol Records, so our engineer is going to be coming with us as well.
So it is the highest production value you can even possibly want for. You know, I want to go back really quick. You mentioned that she sits and goes through 200 songs and judges them on 1 to 5. I'm just curious, what criteria is used to make that decision as to what level number you're going to get scored?
There's a number of different things that would go into it. First, the quality of the song.
Okay.
The clarity by the drum group themselves. And then as she's listening to the song, she's looking out at the dancers and seeing how they're responding to that song.
Good.
And if the dancers aren't excited about the song, well, that one's not going to get that.
And her selection of them has nothing to do with the contest, because the gathering is an actual, it's a competition.
Sure.
That is strictly for the CD, how we are able to go and find tracks, and then she labels them by category, by the name of the drum group, and whether it's a fast song, slow song, a special song, or something.
Wow.
So it helps.
That's interesting to me. I love the judging process and how you eliminate and choose what you want on the album. And obviously, you made the right choices. There's no doubt about that. Now, where can people get copies of the CD?
They can go either to our website and sample it, or they can purchase it there.
Okay, and your website is?
GatheringofNations.com.
Or they can go to iTunes.
Or iTunes. Either or. Great. And of course, the 53rd Annual Grammy Awards are coming up this Sunday, February 13th, and the ceremony will be televised live on our sister station, KRQE News 13, beginning at 7 p.m. Derek and Melonie, best of luck to both of you. I will be rooting for you, and I really appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really, thank you so much. And coming up, just about everybody has some sort of cold, a cough, a virus this winter. And after the break, Dr. Emil Faith has some tips on how to combat that crud naturally.